channel. It's your girl KD, your favorite tech girly, systems design engineer, and I used to be a software developer. But this video really speaks to my heart, you guys, because I really wanted to make this video for a lot of aspiring developers or people that are coders or trying to become software engineers or trying to do programming of some sort. I really wanted to make this video to let you guys know that you're not alone, and learning how to code is hard as F. Emphasis on the F, friend. And are you freaking kidding me? And learning to code and getting into a self-taught journey, however you're learning code, if you went to school for it, if you went to do a boot camp, it's like, if I'm not going to share my own personal journey with coding. So the first programming class that I took was at Arizona State when I was studying applied computer science, and it was a Java course. And guess what, friend? I freaking failed it. Yep, that's right, I failed it. Not only did I fail it, I got an E. I didn't even know what the hell an E is. I guess it's for exceptionally failing. And prior to this class, this was my first programming class. Like, I didn't take a boot camp, I didn't take a course, I didn't Google, I just kind of jumped in. I was kind of arrogant, and I assumed because I was a high performer in high school that I made decent grades in math and other subjects that I could just pick up programming like that. And let me tell you, friend, I was humbled. This was the first time in my life where I realized I was not as smart as I thought I was. It was definitely a wake-up call. Stress and the struggle, like, coding in college kicked my ass for real. Like, it was like trying to read German, but in the dark, and then having someone sit next to you and ask you for directions. That's literally how it felt. I did retake the Java class. I took it with another professor, and one of the biggest revelations that I had with that professor, and I passed it with the B, you guys. And for me, that was the most best feeling in the world, feeling like I could conquer something that was really difficult that I didn't think I could actually do. But one of the key things that I learned is that when it comes to complex subjects, I really need them broken down and I really need them taught. The Java class that I took before was for people that already had programming experience, and low-key, I think it was maybe a little bit advanced for where I was in my programming journey, especially since I was starting out as a freshman in college. And when I retook it and I got the B and I became a go-to person in the class for labs and stuff, that really was a confidence builder. But this was just the start or the beginning of my coding journey. I also experienced failure even in my career the first couple of years as a software developer, as a backend software developer. I want to say this: anybody that really wants to be a software engineer and a software developer and work in a corporate space or big tech, I just wanted to share this reality and this pit of knowledge is when you're working in corporate, it is a different world. You're going to be working with very large code bases. You're going to be developing against applications, tools, and software that has customer facing impact. You will be working on tools that could impact the company's profits and bottom line. You will have very demanding business customers and end users that use the tools that you develop against. You will look at code bases and not know what the hell it does and who wrote it, but you will have an expectation to understand, kind of have an idea of what it does, and be able to make fixes or adjustments to it in a timely manner. All I'm saying is, friend, coding in corporate is very different from coding when you're self-taught or you're in a boot camp or you're in a course. It's a very different world and realm that you are playing in. And that was something that I caught on very quickly when I started my journey as a software developer early on in my career. Another thing that I want to say is you can't get caught in comparison, because there are always going to be people around you that you work with that are smarter than you, and that's okay. And you can't let the comparison destroy you and keep you from not wanting to keep learning and to keep pushing, because you will quickly learn. You're not always going to be the smartest person in the room. But the great thing is you can always partner with those people to kind of understand whatever it is you need to understand. And there was a period of my life when I was a software developer, my first couple of years, I felt depressed, I felt disgusted, I felt inadequate for a really, really, really long time. And then finally, as I came up to speed and I learned the system, I became a go-to person with my business partners. I got promotions. I became a go-to person for certain processes. I came a SME, a subject matter expert on different parts of the application. And it was like a really great part in my career. But I just wanted to share the different realities of corporate versus non-corporate and some of the things that you may face if you start your career as a software engineer. There are some people that learning to code is much easier and they have a natural aptitude for it. And that's awesome. It's almost like their brain has an algorithmic way of like looking at problems in a completely different way. But everybody, friend, has a different way of learning, and you shouldn't feel dumb, you shouldn't feel inadequate, and you shouldn't compare yourself to those types of learners. Friend, all that means is that you just have to work harder and study more and do more practically. Learning to code is complex. There's so many languages. There's so many version software out there like Git and all these other tools. But you have to remember, friend, it's not that you can't do it and you're not dumb. It's a matter of how big of the commitment that you're willing to sacrifice to really earn and learn your craft. Things like coding is something that takes time and practice and hands-on experience. One of the best advice that I have gotten from one of my mentors early on in my software development journey was to pick up a project and just go build it. It doesn't matter how you struggle or how quickly. Learning is not a marathon, and neither is coding. Coding is something that you have to work at daily, a little by little. My biggest advice is find something that interests you, like a project, and just start building. I mean, you're not under any deadlines, you're not under any pressure, but to become proficient, you gotta work on your craft. Real cheat code, friend, to learning how to code is the art of logical thinking. It took me a really, really long time in my career and in my personal coding journey to learn how to logically think. So the cheat code, friend, the real cheat code and the whole premise of this entire video, friend, is that you're not dumb. Coding is hard. However, it's not that you're dumb, friend. It's that you haven't mastered and you haven't trained your brain to logically think like a program. And when you think about coding problems, think of them as puzzles, and then think of the tools that you have available to solve that problem. So data structures, like a list, an array. If I want to process these records in this table, what would be the best data structure for that problem? That is when you get to the really fun part, in my sense, like of coding. When you understand the tools that are available to you, they become less intimidating. Data structures are not sexy and they're not fun. However, sometimes they're the best tools to when it comes to solving coding problems. All coding is problem solving. It's logical thinking, using your tools, data structures, and then understanding the syntax of the programming language that you are using. If it's Python, if it's Java, if it's C#, C++, whatever language or scripting that you're doing is marrying the logic and the syntax and the tools in between to bring that together. Logical thinking is truly a skill, and it has taken me a really, really long time to really get comfortable with logical thinking. I'm not an expert, but I look at beyond my career and I look at my past as a software developer, and I realize it has really grown over the years. And the way I approach coding problems, I actually get excited about it because I'm weird, but coding is like any other skill, friends. It's like learning to drive. It's like learning a new recipe. Any new skill, you're gonna have to continuously develop. You're gonna have to continuously work on it to learn and to improve yourself. So there is no such thing as the perfect coder. You know, the best coders are the ones that are continuously learning, continuously getting better, and challenging themselves and becoming adaptive to their environment and all the changes that happen in the industry. The best coders are the ones that will never stop learning and always look at ways to make improvements. So friends, don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing great. Just keep going. You already are a great coder. a best coder because you keep showing up for yourself. If I can do it, you can do it too. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.